G'day everyone. Yesterday I took a photo that I think visually represents natural selection, and today I want to share that with you all. And I also want to tell you about how it reminded me of one of the most famous cases of rapid evolution known as the peppered moths, which I'll explain later in this video. Oh, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Andrew and this is Andrew's Lens. So yesterday I was out doing a bushwalk, just enjoying some sunshine, enjoying a bit of peace and quiet and taking some photos. And this black dragonfly went straight past me and I watched it because I was thinking it'd be cool to take a photo of this. And there was a tree trunk behind me, which was mostly a whitish grey, and you could tell it had been burnt before. And there was one little bit that was like this black, charred black section of the bark. And to my amazement, the dragonfly basically made a beeline for this small little section of the tree that was the same color as it. It was a black dragonfly and it landed on this black section. And if I hadn't seen this airborne arthropod in flight and I'd tracked it, there's no way I would have seen it. It was so well blended in to the tree. So here's the shot I took. Can you see the dragonfly? You might have been able to see it, but to be honest, I cheated a bit with the image choice and a bit of the editing. Here's a brighter photo with editing to expose the insect a bit more. Absolutely stunning, isn't it? The patterns and the geometry of the animal are absolutely stunning, and how thin the wings are was absolutely incredible. They're basically completely transparent, but pay close attention to its color. It's really blending in well with its surroundings. This could have just been a coincidence where it landed, but I find it hard to believe that 300 million years of evolutionary pressure would not have wired this arthropod to choose the safest place to land, where to a creature of lesser sight capability than a human, this thing would basically be invisible. This also speaks to the idea that animals are much more intelligent than we think they are, but certainly not in the sense that we measure intelligence. I don't think this dragonfly could pass the bar exam or write a symphony or tell you the chemical composition of a planet far, far away. But in the sense of survival, it is a finely tuned system with eons of trial and error under its belt to figure out the best possible way to survive and proliferate. And yet we can often see, and understandably so, these organisms as just sacks of chemical reactions and electrical impulses. But okay, perhaps in a way that is what they are. But it more speaks to the idea that nature is a machine that... Wait, is that an oxymoron? Yeah, it is. Anyway, nature is a machine that turns organisms into finely tuned survival machines over eons of time. And any organism that has persisted into the modern day is the result of billions of years of trial and error, persistence, and fine tuning. So anyway, Andrew, can you guys hear that? Andrew, yeah, what? What about those peppered moths you mentioned earlier? You haven't talked about them yet. Yeah, I'm getting there. Gee, that guy was rude. So, what about the peppered moths? Well, this is a famous story of rapid evolution due to selective pressures. And I was reminded of it by the image that I was lucky enough to capture. So, in pre-industrial Britain, the peppered moths looked like this, predominantly white with a peppering of black spots or dark spots, but overall light in colour. This helped them to blend into the surroundings, particularly on tree trunks, and this allowed them to hide from prey, which were usually birds. During the Industrial Revolution, air pollution caused soot to cover the trees, which resulted in the tree trunks going a darker colour. And I'm sure you can guess the rest. A small population of dark-coloured peppered moths had a massive survival advantage now. Because they could blend into the trees better, they had a much greater survival advantage and a survival rate because predators couldn't see them as well. They proliferated and became the dominant phenotype, and they looked like this. This was seen as very solid evidence to support Charles Darwin's theory of natural evolution. And to further prove this, when industrial pollution was reduced and the air was cleaned, you guessed it, the trees became less sooty, and the dominant phenotype once again became the lighter coloured pepper moths, because once again they could blend into the trees better when there was less soot in the air and less soot on the trees. This effect was later coined industrial melanism and was seen in other organisms as well. So, to tie this back to the photo that I took yesterday, perhaps now you can see why I got so excited when I took this photo of nature's ability to create exquisitely calibrated and optimized creatures, and an encapsulation of natural selection. A few billion-year-old phenomenon honing organisms to be survival and proliferation specialists. So next time you feel like a failure, just remember, you are far more special than you think. You are the result of eons and eons of fine-tuning and specialization. Okay, on that positive note, I hope you have a great rest of your day, you little evolutionary masterpiece. Please like and subscribe and comment if you've seen anything like this before. And remember to keep enjoying life. See ya. This is a tough one. To create ability to far out.